Hello students. We're continuing with the linear equation in two variables. This is part 4. Previous video we have already learned two other methods. We have learned substitution and we have learned elimination. Okay, there is a third method here, cross product method. This method is very short and convenient. This is very quick also. But in order to arrive at the cross product method, let's take up two equations like this. Let me take up a1x plus b1y plus c1 is equal to 0. Uh, you have to look that the constant term is on the left hand side and the right hand side is only 0. And I'm taking up another one, a2x plus b2y plus c2 is equal to 0. If I take up the first equation as equation 1, second one let's name it as equation number 2, then let me do a little bit of a changing. Okay, so let's multiply the equation 1 by let's say a2. So mention here multiplying equation 1 by, let's say I want to do a little bit of an elimination method. So how to do elimination method? Remember, you have to make the coefficient of either x or y the same. So let's say I want to make the coefficient of x same, right? If I want to make the coefficient of x same, then here is a1, here is a2. How to make them the same? You have to multiply here by a2, you have to multiply here by a1. That way, the coefficient of x will be a1, a2. Same here also a1, a2. And then we can eliminate them just by subtracting. So we are multiplying equation 1 by a2 and we are multiplying equation 2 by a1 and we are subtracting them. Let's see what we obtain. First one, if I multiply the equation 1 by a2, look what do we get. Here we will multiply by a2, same here, same here. So finally the result will look like this: a1 a2x, a1 b1y, no, sorry, a2 b1y plus a2 c1 is equal to 0. We're multiplying the second equation by a1. So what are we getting is we're getting a1 a2 plus a1 b2 plus a1 c2 is equal to 0. Subtract them now. Remember that in elimination, if you subtract the two equation in which the coefficients are equal, you have to put a minus sign here, right? So the plus will become minus. The plus will become minus. These two will cancel out because they are the same, exactly the same. One is positive, one is negative. So cancel these two. What is remaining? A2 B1Y. I have a Y missing here. A2 B1Y is remaining here. What about here? A1 B2Y. One is A2 B1, the other is A1 B2. And both of them have Y as the variable in them. And one of them is positive, this one is plus sign. But this one is minus sign, right? So let's put here A2 B1Y minus A1 B2Y. Okay. What about the remaining? You have to subtract this. If I subtract A2C1 and A1C2, one is positive, one is negative. We're going to keep it as A2C1 first minus A1C2 later is equal to 0. I can take out Y as common factor here, right? Take out Y common factor, A2B1 minus A1B2. These two are constant. Let's take it to the other side. This minus sign will become positive. This plus sign will become negative. So what we are going to get is, if I shift these two to the right hand side, we will have A1C2 minus A2C1. Now we can find out Y, right? A1C2 minus A2C1 divided by A2B1 minus A1B2. Okay. For the timing, let's forget this portion. This is an example that we are going to take up when we have learned the cross product method. Okay. So the value of y is like this. How do we find out y? We find out by doing elimination method. We multiply a2 here, we multiply a1 here. Why? We wanted to make the coefficient of x equal. Okay, let's do the reverse order. If I want to make the coefficient of y equal, the coefficient of y is b1 here, b2 here. How to make the two equal? If I want to make the coefficient of y equal, I have to multiply with b2 here. I have to multiply with b1 here. That way, if I multiply b2 here, we will have b1, b2. If I multiply b1 here, we will have b1 by b1, b2. That way, the coefficient of y will be equal, right? So Since we have found out the value of y, let's keep it on the side, right? So the value of y, I'm putting it on the right. So let's rub off the others. When we want to find out y, remember the elimination method. When we want to find out the value of y, we make the coefficients of x equal. If I want to find the value of x, you have to make the coefficients of y equal. I just mentioned how to make the coefficients of y equal. You just have to multiply b2 here in the first one, b1 here in the second one. So let's do it. Multiplying equation 1 by, we multiply it by b2, and equation 2 by b1, and then we will subtract. What do we get then? Look, b2 here, b2 here, b2 here, b1 here, b1 here, b1. So multiply all the terms by b2 in the equation 1. What we are able to get is we are able to get a1 b2, b1 b2, b2 c1 is equal to, if I multiply the right hand side by any number, we are going to get 0, right? Do the same thing for equation number 2. We have to multiply equation number 2 by b1. So the result is a2 b1, b1 b2 plus b1 c2. So we have to put x, y here. I'm putting the variables in red color. Okay, now we have to subtract these two, right? These two equation we obtain after multiplication, we have to subtract them. I'm putting a minus sign here. What happens if I put a minus sign here? You have to change the plus sign here with another sign. Minus plus is minus, minus plus is minus. These two will get cancelled, right? Because since the coefficient of y is equal, one is positive, one is negative, then the total of them will be 0, isn't it? What is remaining? These and these are remaining. One is plus, one is minus. Let's put them. We're going to get a1 b2x minus a2 b1x. This part is cancelled, right? They're cancelled. So let's just cancel them. What about the constant term? b2 c1 here, b1 c2 here, plus b2 c1 minus b1 c2 is equal to 0. Okay, we have got x. Remember that we wanted to find out the value of x and y. We've already found out the value of y. Now it's the x is done, right? We have to find the value of x. You can take the common factor of these two. Here is x here is x here. b2 c1 go to the right hand side. b1 c2 also go to the right hand side. One will become the plus here will become negative. The minus here will become positive. What is left then? Check it. We have got a1 b2 minus a2 b1. We have taken out the x common factor from these two. Okay, so I'm putting the x behind. These two are taken to the right hand side already, right? So b1 c2 will be positive. This will become, the minus sign will become plus sign. This b2 c1, it was plus. So if I take it to the right hand side, it will become minus. So we will have minus b2 c1. Okay, now time to calculate. Time to calculate the value of x. What do we get then? If I calculate the value of x, what do we get? The value of x will be b1 c2 minus b2 c1, a1 b2 minus a2 b1. So it's simple, right? So I'm putting this value right here. This portion separately. Okay, I'm just showing you how we got the value of x and y. Okay. When you use the cross product method, you don't need to remember how we have obtained the value of x and y. You just need to understand the formula. That's it, no more. So I'm rubbing this off. What if I keep like this? Let's say I keep b1, b2, c1, c2, a1, a2, b1, b2. We started with b1, b2. We write c next. Next is a, and then we end with b1, b1, b2. Okay, in between this, let's put x. In between this, let's put 1. In between this, let's put 1. X, y, 1. So here x, y, 1. And then do a little bit of cross multiplication like this. Put x first. X divided by cross. If I cross this first, b1, c2, right? Minus. If I cross this, we get b2, c1. Next, put y. Cross. We get c1, a2. I think I made a little bit of a mistake here in finding out the value of y. These two should be in the reverse. These two should be in the reverse. Or I can reverse it right now. Here. Okay, we can do it later on also. No mistake here. I just need to exchange the two signs. Cross multiply this. If I put y, you have to cross multiply these two. Okay, these four. C1, C2 and A1, A2. Cross multiply C1 and A2. So we get C1 A2 minus. If I cross multiply like this, it will be the positive sign. Downwards is positive, outwards is negative. So outwards we get C2A1 cross multiplication. Okay, C2A1. Then at last, what is it? It's 1 by. So here, do the same thing, cross multiply A1 and B2. Put here first. This is downward, go upwards now. A2, B1. Downwards is positive, upwards is negative. And if I put an equal to in between, let's say you take this portion and this portion. If I have A is equal to B is equal to C, you can take A and C separately, right? Or you can take B and C separately, or you can take A and B separately. It's your choice. For now, I am taking this and this. There is a one missing here. So if I take this and this, what are we going to have? We have got x by b1 c2 b2 c1 is equal to 1 by a1 b2 minus a2 b1. Find out the value of x, just cross multiply. If I have a by b is equal to c by d, you can cross multiply them, right? But for this, no need to cross multiply. If I cross multiply this, then we will have x whole a1 b2 minus a2 b1 is equal to b1 c2 minus b2 c1. No need to keep like this. You just bring this outwards. What do we get then? We get x is remaining on the left hand side. I'm taking this portion outwards. I'm just multiplying this and this. That way we are going to get b1 c2 minus b2 c1 divided by a1 b2 minus a2 b1. This is this value exactly, right? b1 c2 minus b2 c1 by a1 b2 minus a2 b1. Okay, same thing. If I don't take this and this, let's take y and the value with the constant term. So take the y and the constant term. We are going to have y by c1 a2 is equal to 1 by a1 b2 minus a2 b1. Bring this up like we have done in the previous one. We're going to have y left on the right hand side. If I bring this up means you just have to multiply, okay, no change in the denominator. So we are going to have c1 a2 minus c2 a1 by a1 b2 minus a2 b1. Is the value of y same? You will say no, because c2 a1 is this one. It's reverse, right? C2 A1, C1 A2. Here is C1 A2, C2 A1. A1 C2 and C2 A1, same thing, isn't it? Denominator is also A1 B2, A1 B2, A2 B1. Here is A2 B1 first. But I can change this if I interchange this. If I interchange A minus B into B minus A, we will have a negative sign in the front. Now let's do it. We will have minus. I'm interchanging these two so that the minus sign will appear in the front. C2A1, instead of C2A1, I can write A1 C2, A2 C1. Do the same thing for denominator. Minus A2 B1 minus A1 B2. I can cancel the minus sign and minus sign. What is left? Look, A1 C2 minus A2 C1. A1 C2 minus A2 C1. A2 B1, A2 B1, A1 B2, A1 B2. This we have obtained. The value of x and y that I'm writing right here, we have obtained this by elimination of the two given equation, right? But the value of x and y can be obtained by keeping like this also. The denominators, you obtain it by cross multiplication. So in summary, if we have two equations, okay, I'm rubbing this off everything. I'm just showing you how we obtain this formula, okay, how we obtain this formula. No need to know the derivation of it. You just need to understand how to solve by cross multiplication. But for the advanced, the one who wants to understand, I'm just showing you how we have obtained this formula. So let's say I have two equations in summary, a1 x1, a1x plus b1y is equal to not equal to, plus c1 is equal to 0. I have another a2x plus b2y plus c2 equal to 0. Here we have such two equations. I'm taking out the coefficient b1, b2, c1, c2, a1, a2, and then I'm arranging them starting with b. b1, b2, c1, c2, a1, a2, b, c, a. You go in this cycle. And then you put x, y, 1 in between the four. there are 4 columns, right? Between the 4 columns, you put x here, y here, 1. And then you start like this. Put x divided by cross multiply like this. Don't start like this, okay? Don't start outwards. B1 C2 minus B2 C1 is equal to y by C1 A2 minus C2 A1, okay? And then you put 1 here, A1 B2 minus A2 B1. Finally, when we got this form, we have got this form in the form of x is equal to y is equal to 1. If you want to find out the value of x, you make this and this term equal. You take these two only. That way, I can find out x just by bringing this up. If you want to find out y, you take these two. If I want to find out the value of y, you just bring this up. So we will get C1 A2 minus C2 A1 divided by A1 B2 minus A2 B1. Okay. If you get confused, it's okay. I'm going to demonstrate it just by using these two examples right here. But first of all, you have to remember that in rearranging, in looking at the two equation, in looking at the two given equation, the two given equation are supposed to look like this. That means we don't want the constant term on the on the right hand side. Everything else, the term containing x, the term containing y, the constant term, everything else is supposed to be on the left hand side. Only and only then we will be able to solve this cross product method, okay, using this cross product method. Okay, then let's begin. You just have to remember this formula right here. I'm keeping this here right here for your convenience sake. Okay, you don't need this one. Okay, now let's take up the first example right here. 4x minus 3y is equal to 5. 3x minus 5y is equal to 1. Okay, first one. Okay, Roman number 1, we have got 4x minus 3y is equal to 5. Next one is 3x minus 5y is equal to 1. As I have just said, we don't want this form of equation. We want equation in the form of like this. All the terms on the left hand side, we just want 0. So I'm changing this a little bit. So we are going to have 4x minus 3y minus 5 is equal to 0. You bring the 5 to the left hand side. Same thing, bring the 1 to the left hand side. So we will have 3x minus 5y minus 1 is equal to 0. Now we have to figure out what b1, b2, c1, c2, a1, a2, this 3, a1, a2, b1, b2, c1, c2. A is the coefficient of x. So a1 is here, this 4 is a1, this 3 is a2. And b1, b2, you have to consider the negative sign here. b1, b2, c1, c2. Okay, now let's just write the a1 and a2 first. A1 is 4, a2 is 3, b1 is minus 3, b2 is minus 5, c1 is minus 5, c2 is minus 1. Okay, now time to keep like this. b1, b2, c1, c2, a1, a2, b1, b2. Let's arrange them. You have to start with b, right? So let's just, you have to write here minus 3, minus 5, c1, c2 next, minus 5, minus 1. Then a1, a2 next, 4 here, 3 here. Then b1, b2 next. You have to repeat the b1, b2 twice. At the starting, you have got 1 in the starting and 1 at the ending. You have to put minus 3 here, minus 5. And remember, I have to put x, y, and 1. X divided by, cross multiply now, these two. So minus 3 and minus 1. If you cross multiply, what is the value? Minus minus is plus, 3 and 1 is 3, right? So here, minus 3 into minus 1, minus. I have done this, minus 3 into minus 1. Go up, minus 5 into minus 5. Minus 5 into minus 5. If we have negative value, then don't forget to enclose them inside the brackets. Otherwise, you will get wrong sign and wrong value. Is equal to, the portion for x is done. Come to the portion for y. The portion for y is cross multiply, minus 5 and 3. You have to multiply them. So we will get minus 5 into 3 minus. What's next? We have done this part. Bring this up. You have to multiply what and what now? Minus 1 and 4. So we will write here minus 1 into 4. Okay. So we have done 5 into 3, minus 5 into 3 right here. Then we will have minus 1 into 4. we have got right here, is equal to, what about 1? For 1, cross multiply, 4 into minus 5, minus, what's next? 3 into minus 3, 3 into minus 3. Okay, let's all multiply. Let's just solve these portions. Okay, so we have got x by how much? Minus 3 into minus 1, how much is it? Minus 3 into minus 1. Minus 3 into minus 1 is 3, right? Minus minus will be plus, 3 and 1 will be 3. Minus 5 and minus 5. We have got plus 5 5 are 25. So I'm putting minus 25 here because minus 5 into minus 5 is 25, right? Is equal to y by how much is it? The multiplication first. Minus 5 into 3, it's minus 15, right? So keep minus 15 here first. Then minus 1 into 4, it's minus 4. But here is a minus sign. Let me repeat again. Minus 1 and 4, it's minus 4. But here is a minus sign in the front. If I multiply the minus sign again, we will get minus minus is plus 4. So we are going to put here plus 4 is equal to, what about the denominator for 1? 4 into minus 5. 4 5s are 20 because there is a minus sign. We are going to put 4 5s are 20. So we will have minus 20. Look at these two signs. Minus minus is plus. 3 3s are is 9 plus 9. Okay, now let's do the addition and subtraction. Let's finish the denominators of x, y, and 1 respectively. So I'm rubbing this off. I'm rubbing this portion off. Let's shift this a little outwards. Okay, now I have forgotten the implied state here. Look, in the finishing, we are going to get x by 3 minus 25. How much is it? 3 minus 25 will be minus 22. It's a subtraction, you know, right? X by, no, it's y by. Y by, what about this? Minus 15 plus 4. We are going to get minus 11 is equal to, what about here? 1 by minus 20 plus 9. We are just focusing on the denominator, remember? So minus 20 plus 9, 20 and 9 in subtraction is 11. So you have to take the sign of the larger number. Larger number is minus 20. So we will have minus 11, 1. What if we want to find out x, y? That's the whole point of finding out the solution, right? We wanted the value of x and y. How do we obtain the value of x and y from this? Simple. I just told you, you have to take this and this separately. The constant one, the one with the constant value, and x only. So if I take these two, if I take this and this, we're going to have x by minus 22 is equal to 1 by minus 11. Cross multiply, you are just bringing this portion up. Only x is remaining on the left hand side. If I bring this up, only x will be remaining on the left hand side. Bring the minus 22 up. Minus 22 into 1 will be minus 22 divided by denominator is still minus 11. So keep the minus 11 here, cancel the minus and minus. 11 and 22, 11 2s are 22. So we have got x as how much? 2. What about y? You take this 2. Simple. We're just taking y by minus 11 is equal to 1 by minus 11. Instead of doing cross multiplication, or you can do cross multiplication, you bring this upward. Minus 11 upward will be y is only remaining on the left hand side. If I bring minus 11 up here, we will have minus 11 by minus 11, which will be 1 because we have cancelled minus 11 and minus 11. So what's the final values? The value of x is 2. The value of y is 1. And remember, how did we obtain this? How to rearrange the equation first? Then you have to take out the coefficients of x, y, and the constant term separately, and then do the cross multiplication. What do we put first? We put b1, b2 first. Then we put c next, a next. Finally, we end with b1 and b2. And then we put x, y, 1 in between here, between the 4 columns. And then we made the equation like this, right? This is also an equation. Okay, the first one is solved. Second one, let me solve it again. Let me take up the equation Roman number 2 that I'm just giving here as one more example. So here look, Roman number 2, we have got twice x plus y minus 5 is equal to 0. Twice x plus 2y minus 8 is equal to 0. Okay, the right hand side is free of any number of variable. That's what we wanted, right? We wanted a1x plus b1y plus c1 or a2x plus b2y plus c2. Both of them are okay. So no need for changing, isn't it? So let's start keeping like this: B1, B2, C1, C2, A1, A2, and B1, B2. What's B1? A1 is this one, right? 2. This is A2. What's in front of Y? 1. 1 should be the B1. What's in front of Y? 2. So 2 should be B2. Minus 5 is what? C1. Minus 8 is what? C2. So you just write on the side here. A1 is 2. A2 is 3. B1 is 1. B2 is 2. C1 is minus 5. C2 is minus 8. If you don't understand what these are, then there is a big problem with your knowledge. Okay, then let's start keeping like this. B1, B2 first. B1, B2 is 1 and 2 first, right? So 1, 2. C1, C2 next. Minus 5, minus 8. A1, A2 next. 2, 3. Then you end with B1, B2. B1, B2 is 1, 2. Then in between, you put X here, Y here, and 1 here. Just say solution here, okay? What's the value now? X divided by cross multiply. 1 and minus 8 is minus 8. 1 into minus 8, it's minus 8, right? I'm just putting it minus 8 minus 2 and minus 5 is minus 10 is equal to. What about Y? Y by minus 5 into 3, it's minus 15, right? Here you can see, right? Minus 5 and 3. So minus 5 into 3, it's minus 15. Minus 8 and 2. How much is it? Minus 8 into 2, we get minus 16. Since there's a minus sign, you need to enclose them inside a bracket, right? So we get minus 16 is equal to, put 1 by, what about here? 2 and 2 is 4. Minus 3 and 1 is what? 3. Remember the way that we go like this first, next like this second, next like this. You have to remember the order also. You have to go like this first, downwards first, outward next. Okay, now let's solve the denominator properly. X by minus 8, that is minus and minus will multiply. We are going to get plus 10. Y by minus 15, minus minus will be plus again, so we will get plus 16. 1 by 4 minus 3 is how much? 4 minus 3 is 1, right? Okay, now we want the value of X and Y separately. So take this is equal to, take this is equal to this, take this is equal to this, and then we will take this is equal to this separate. I'm rubbing this off because we have already known this, and you have to show how we undergo the cross product method. So finally, if I continue on the right hand side, this is not necessary anymore. I'm rubbing this off. Let's continue on the right hand side. If I want the value of X, I have to make this 2 equal, right? But let's finish the denominator first. X by minus 8 plus 10. We have to subtract them, different signs, isn't it? 10 minus 8 is 2. Y by minus 15 plus 16. It's same as writing 16 minus 15. So it's 1 again. 1 by 1, let's keep it. Make this 2 equal, first and last. So X by 2 is equal to 1 by 1. Cross multiply, we get X is equal to 2. You're just bringing this up, okay? X is equal to 2 by 1, which will be 2. Take this 2. We have got Y by 1 is equal to 1 by 1. Cross multiply, we will get Y is equal to 1. So finally, the value of X is 2 and Y is 1. What you have to remember is how to obtain the denominators. What are A1, A2, B1, B2, C1, and C2? You have to understand the coefficients property properly without lack of sign. The sign has to be there. And then you have to understand how to arrange them. You start with B1, B2 first, C1, C2 next, A1, A2 next, and then at last you end with B1, B2 again. And then we have also seen how to do the cross multiplication, right? You put X, Y, and 1. Below X, we put this. Below Y, we put this. Below 1, we put this. Then finally, we obtain this. If I want the value of X, you take this 2. And if I want this 2, if I want the value of Y, you take this 2 equation. Okay, so that's cross multiplication method in a nutshell. You have just learned a method, and then we have also solved 2 pair of linear equation using it. And it's your turn to do a little bit of a practice. You look up equation 6.2. You take any pair of equation, okay? Any 2 pair of equation, either from equation number 1, 2, 3, whatever equation it is given there. Even if it says solved by elimination, solved by cross product, or solved by substitution, you just take any of them and then you start practicing. See if you are able to obtain the correct result from the answer given. But cross product method, unless we are doing the unless we are calculating the value of x and y in a hurry, we don't use it very frequently. So out of the four methods that we have learned graphical method, right? Then we have learned substitution, we have learned elimination, and finally we have learned cross product. So if you want to find out the value of x and y in a hurry, you don't want to write the equations one by one. In that case, cross product method is very convenient. Elimination method and substitution method, we are going to prefer it when we come to the word problems. Very important. Substitution method and elimination method, it will be the foundation for your word problems in exercise 4.3. So you learn the elimination and substitution method properly. You just practice not less than 5 to 10 questions on each of them. If you are not able to understand the substitution and elimination method, then there is no point continuing to exercise 4.3. Okay. Okay. Now this ends the methods to solve the pair of linear equations. I have just mentioned it. We have already done the four methods. Graphical method was a different one. You may expect a 3-mark question or a 4-mark question regarding solve two equations by graphical method. You have to draw the graphs. You have to put up the table, plot the points, and draw the graphs. You can expect 3 marks for that. But there is this cross product method, substitution, elimination. The three of them, don't expect any question from them separately or individually. Okay, you just need to understand. You just need to learn. That will make the foundation of how to solve a word problem, which will be in your exercise 4.3. Okay. Two questions that I have left out from exercise 4.1. I'm just bringing it up. Look, this to be equation from exercise 6.1. I'm bringing up two questions, question number 4 and this one, question number 6. Let's solve them. They're very important ones. This is a 2-mark question, very frequented. And in order to solve 4 and 6, you need to remember the properties of consistent and inconsistent. If two equations are given like this, a1x plus b1y is equal to c1, then what is the property of consistency? If the two equations are consistent, we will have like this, right? Inconsistent, what is it? a1 by a2 equal to b1 by b2 does not equal to c1 by c2. What about dependent? Dependent will be all of them will be equal. I'm sorry. We will have a1 by a2, b1 by b2, c1 by c2. All three will be equal. Now look at the question number 4. Let's read the question first. Find the value of p if the following pair of equation has unique solution. What is the meaning of unique solution? It is consistent. What? We want to know the value of, what is the value of p. Okay, let's see here how much is a1. A1 is 4. The coefficient of x is a1, right? Coefficient of y is b1. Coefficient of y here will be b2. X here will be a2. And these two constant term, it will constitute c1 and c2. A1 is 4. How much is a2? A2 is 2. b1 is p. b2 is 3. c1 is 5. c2 is 7. What do we want? We want the value of p. What is the given? The given is that these two pair of equation has what now? Unique solution. What's the condition for unique solution then? Unique solution, we use another word. We use the word consistent. What is the condition for consistent? We will have a1 by a2 does not equal to b1 by b2. No need for the value of c1, c2, right? So since the two equations are inconsistent, the two equations has a unique solution. Let's write here, since the equations are consistent. The question actually says unique solution. We are going to mention here, but it's the same as saying they are consistent, right? So we will have a1 by a2 does not equal to b1 by b. a1 by a2 is how much? 4 by 2 does not equal to b1 by b2 will be b by 3. If I'm given a by b is equal to c by d, I can cross multiply them, right? We will get ad is equal to bc. But here this is not equal to, this is not equal to. One may be greater or one may be smaller. In that case, what we are going to do is we want to eliminate the denominators 2 and 3. How to eliminate 2 and 3 at the same time? Take the LCM of 2 and 3. There is no factors for 2 and 3 both. So we have to multiply 2 and 3. 2 3s is 6. Multiply with 6 here, multiply with 6 here. These 2 and 6 will cancel out. These 3 and 6 will cancel out. So we are going to get 2. Now we are multiplying both sides by how much? 6. What are we doing here? Multiplying both sides by. If we have equal to in between, you can just cross multiply them, okay? But you cannot do that because there is an equal sign in between. Let's cancel them. Let's cancel 2 and 6, 3 and 6. We are going to get 2 3s is 6 here, 3 here, 3 2s is 6 here. What is remaining? Look, 4 and 3, p and 2. We get 4 3s are 12, does not equal to twice p. Okay, let's continue further on the right hand side right here. 12 does not equal to twice p. We want p to be alone, okay, without any coefficient. How to get rid of these two? Divide both sides by 2, divide by 2 here, divide by 2 here. In that case, we are going to get 12 by 2 does not equal to twice p by 2. What do we do here? Dividing both sides by 2. 12 and 2 cancel out, 2 6 are 12. 2 and 2 cancel out, we just got p left. What is left here after cancellation? We have got 6 on the left hand side and p on the right hand side. You just exchange the side, we will have p does not equal to 6. Okay, write it down there. P does not equal to 6. Usually if we wanted the value of a variable, let's say if I wanted the value of x or y, we are going to get a numerical value such as x is equal to 2, right? If we get x is equal to 2, then you might think it's okay. But what if you get like this, x does not equal to 2? What this means is that x can be any value except you cannot take the value of x as 2. Same thing here, p does not equal to 6 means p can take any value. You can put the value of p right here. This focus on this equation right here. The value of p here, you can put any value, 1, 2, 3, 4, minus 5, minus 6, minus 8. Think of any value that you want, but you cannot take the value of p as 6. All right, so that's what it is saying. So the required solution for this question will be, for this question, the required solution is p does not equal to 6. Okay, come to the next one. Come to question number 6. It is a similar question except the given condition is slightly different. Find the value of k for which the pair of equation. We have got two pair of equation here, one here, one here. 5x plus y is equal to 1. 2k minus 1 whole x, k minus 1 y, 2k plus 1 has no solution. So this is equation 1, this is equation 2. The 2 equation has what now? No solution. What is the other word for it? The other word for it will be, it's inconsistent. What is the condition for inconsistent? A1 by A2 is equal to B1 by B2 does not equal to C1 by C2. Forget this part. Let's focus on the first two. Okay, A1 by A2 equal to B1 by B2. Okay, here, what is A1, B1? What is A2, B2? Let's write them separately. Here, solution. The equations are, what are given? 3x plus y is equal to 1. What's the other one? 2k minus 1x plus k minus 1y is equal to 2k plus 1. Here is A1, 3. What's in front of y? It's 1. That is B1. This one is C1, right? So A1 here, B1 here, C1 here. B1, you don't exactly see the value, but in front of y, we assume that there is a coefficient of 1. A2 here, B2 here, C2 here. Okay, let's write it on the right hand part. So we have got A1 is equal to 3, B1 is equal to 1, C1 is equal to 1. A2 is how much? 2k minus 1. B2 is how much? K minus 1. C2 is how much? 2k plus 1. Now, what is given? The pair of equation has no solution. So you have to mention here, since the two equations are no solution means inconsistent. Remember, if we draw the graph of two inconsistent equation, we are going to get two lines, parallel ones, right? So mention in the bracket what is the meaning of inconsistent. That way, what is the condition for no solution? We have got A1 by A2 equal to B1 by B2. does not equal to C1 by C2. No need for the last portion right here. We will solve the value of K by using this one. Okay, write it down. A1 by A2, how much is it? A1 is 3, A2 is 2K minus 1 is equal to, B1 is how much? 1, B2 is 2K, sorry, yes, it's K minus 1. Here, A1 is right here. Then A2, 2K minus 1. B1 by B2, B1 is this one, B2 is K minus 1. So I'm writing it right. What do we want? We want the value of K according to the question. So just do cross multiplication. Very simple. The cross multiplication, if you continue further, we are going to get 3 whole bracket K minus 1, 1 whole bracket 2K minus 1. Do distributive property. 3 and K, 3K, 3 and 1, 3, 1 and 2K, 2K, 1 and 1, 1. Okay, let's write it down. 3K minus 3 is equal to 2K minus 1. Continue further. I want to bring the 2K to this side, 3 to other side. So we get implies that 3K minus 2K is equal to minus 1 plus 3. Look, 2K is brought here. Look, we have got here. Minus 3 is brought here. Minus 1 is remaining. I'm putting it right here. Minus 3, I'm putting it right here. It has turned into plus 3. 3K minus 2K is how much? It's K. Minus 1 plus 3 is how much? 3 and 1. Because their signs are different, you just have to subtract 3 and 1. So the value of K is how much now? 2. So look, we are given two equations. The condition before the two equation is it has no solution and we wanted to find the value of K. What is the condition for no solution? I'm writing it right here. We don't need to use 1, 2, 3 now. We just need the 2. So A1, A2, we are putting the value. B1, B2, we are putting the value. But we don't need C1 and C2, okay? We don't need it. Then we do cross multiplication and we found out the value. Okay. So it's really that simple. Okay, this is these two equations, question number 4 and 6. As I mentioned, this is two important questions that I have left out from exercise 6.1. The methods of solving the pair of linear equation, your graphical, your cross product, elimination, substitution, that is supposed to be in your exercise 4.2. And I'm saying once again that practice makes everything perfect. You need to practice, practice, and practice. Okay. Even if I taught you two equations, how to solve 1, 2 equations, it's not enough for your knowledge. You have to practice, practice, and practice until the knowledge sinks into you. If this was some calculation that some previous knowledge that you have already learned in the previous class, it's okay. But this is not. This is new concept, new methods. So you try to make it sink into your head. You practice, practice, and practice. With this, let's finish today's class. We're going to take up exercise 4.3. 4.3, it is going to deal with how to solve word problems, real life problems based on linear equation in two variables. Okay, we will take a very important questions that is already asked in your board exams. Some very practical ones that you can apply in the real life also. Okay, mathematics. Some of you may say that mathematics doesn't find any application in real life. It's just addition, subtraction. Just addition, subtraction, multiplication. They are the ones finding application in real life. But you will find lots of equation that you can apply in real life also regarding calculation of area, changing, interchanging of number, speed, time, and distance, such things. Okay, so with this, let's finish here. I will see you all on the next video. Goodbye.